I'm here with Asmaron. Have I said that right?
Yes.
And Asmaron is here to do a part 2 mock.
Can you read the number plate on that driving school car?
It's RV22UJM.
Is that you?
Yeah, I think so. I hope so.
Definitely you. That's it. And if you could identify where the engine coolant goes, and how would you check it?
The engine coolant goes in here. Check them against the maximum and minimum level.
Brilliant. That's it. Close it up. That's it.
Anyone that's new to the channel, a part 2 mock is basically one of the exams you need to do in order to qualify as a driving instructor. I was about to say examiner there for a second. Part 1 would be your theory, part 2 will be your driving test, your advanced driving test, and part 3 is the instructor abilities test. And of course, Asmaron is here for a part 2 mock. If you are interested in doing a mock test, either on the channel or privately, then follow me on Instagram, send me a DM, and then we can talk about it. I can't guarantee everybody because I'm getting a lot of messages at the moment, but if I can, I will assist you and help you out. We can definitely talk. Just like always, like, comment, and subscribe because it really does boost the video out to a wider audience. Really appreciate the support because obviously, if you like it and you share it and you push it out, then obviously it gets a wider audience. So I really do appreciate that.
Do that.
Do that.
Yeah.
Okay, let's talk about you, Asmaron.
Yeah.
Okay, so Asmaron has come all the way from where today?
Newcastle upon Tyne.
Newcastle upon Tyne. I think
Toon.
the Toon Army. So why have you come all this way? What's your...
I've seen your channel in YouTube, the way you give instruction, the way you give people chance, you know. I was just very eager to come, you know. I wanted to test myself as well. I've got part 2 test coming soon.
Do you want to say when your part 2 test is? You don't have to if you don't want to publicize it.
Yeah. No, not yet.
Have you done any training?
I do. I drive for a living, so I've been practicing on myself.
Okay.
And then I've been obviously read the highway book and then the DVSA guide by DVSA, driving essential skills.
That's on airplane mode. How is that even?
I know.
Not having that.
That's what I wanted, didn't it?
Not having that. Dearie me, it's raining again.
Yeah.
Oh well, doesn't matter. It is what it is. If my camera's a bit wet, it's because they're outside.
Yeah, I've done a practicing myself, read the books. I've been watching your YouTube channels as well.
So you've done no actual training?
No actual training.
Okay, so again, someone's come to me without doing any training.
Yeah.
It's not necessarily about this. Again, I said this on all the other videos, there's a wealth of information out there.
Yeah.
You can learn a lot online, can't you?
Yeah.
Yeah. But it is important to get some form of assessment, and I would say still you need a little bit of training. Okay, so I'm gonna ask you some tell me questions. Okay. Tell me how you know that there was a problem with your anti-lock braking system.
If there is a faulty, the sign will illuminate the dashboard.
Okay, brilliant. That'll do, I guess. Yeah. And obviously, when it illuminates,
yeah, you get it.
What would it then do?
You get it checked.
So,
well, it will usually get off. If it stays there, that means there's a fault.
I can't stress enough how important it is to get all the information when you're doing your tell me questions. Don't mess up your tell me questions.
How would you know that there was a problem with your power assisted steering, and how would you check it?
You check it when you put the engine off or the ignition. I put the ignition on, I move it slightly, or if it's hard, that means there's a problem.
That'll do.
It should be very soft.
It should be, shouldn't it?
Yeah.
Okay, brilliant. I like that. Yeah. Do you know what a part 2 test entails? I mean, you've watched the channel.
Yeah.
You know what it entails. Yeah. So you're going to be driving for about an hour.
Yeah.
At all times, I'd like you to follow the road ahead unless I tell you to turn left or turn right. And if I need you to turn, I will tell you in good time.
Okay.
We're going to take in 2 reversing maneuvers. Okay. Possibly an emergency stop, very likely. And we're going to be following sat-nav, 20 minutes of independent drive following the sat-nav. Okay. Yeah. And I will ask you some more show me questions when we're on the move. Some safety questions on the move. Okay. Actually, one last question. Is there anything in your driving that you feel that you're not quite sure about or that you're not comfortable with? Is there anything?
I've been doing a lot of practicing, but my parking.
Okay.
I haven't been used, the preferred method that, that you could use the 3 lines or whatever that, Are you
talking for bay parking?
Yeah, day park. I just go randomly and park.
Do you have to?
Not really, I don't know. Do you?
You don't have to use the 3-line method.
No? As long as you get in the line? I can't get in the line between the lanes.
As long as you do it safely and in control.
Yeah.
Yes?
Full control, yeah.
Yes.
That's number 1 priority.
And you need to do it if you don't want to pick up any faults, you need to do it in one go.
In one go.
So when we see you next, we'll be starting this test. Whenever you are ready, if you'd like to start your engine for me, please.
As per usual, I'll be commentating our way through this test.
So whenever you are ready, buddy, if you could drive on.
Asmaron looks around the car to make sure it's safe before moving off. It's a little bit messy, a bit haphazard, but he is looking. And then his good mirror work continues as he goes round this parked car. Once you've gone round the bend, we're going to be turning right at the next junction, and he just makes a small mistake with gears.
And then at the end of the road, you're going to turn right for me, please.
Could have not signaled because nobody could benefit from mine, could
Don't second guess yourself.
He's still in second gear. He emerges without a hitch, but it is noteworthy.
That would be my advice to you.
Yeah.
Don't second guess yourself.
He's just entered the 20 zone and he's driving the speed limit, but when he sees the 30 sign, he starts to pick up speed and he gets the car up to around 25 miles an hour. This is a very easy mistake to make, but this would pick you up a serious fault for use of speed.
And then at the roundabout, which is just around the bend, you're going to turn right.
He now has a vehicle blocking the road and he takes his time, leaving plenty of room. At the next mini roundabout, he's ever so slightly hesitant. He again checks mirrors and signals in good time and positions well in the right-hand lane. A van is coming from his right-hand side, so he correctly comes to a stop. He's just not ready to go straight afterwards, and he pauses for a second and almost encourages this learner driver to go. It's nowhere near enough to be a fault, but it is a precursor to what happens later at roundabouts. He then signals to go round this parked car, which in this case is correct, because there's a motorbike just behind.
And then if you just take this next road on the left, into the car park.
He's now got his first manoeuvre, the reverse bay park. As we're entering the car park, he just clips the curb, and later on he thinks he's failed for it. But it's very minor and in a low-risk environment. The worst-case scenario for this would be a driver fault for steering. He just turns in a little bit too early, and it's this curb here on the left.
And then I'd like you to find any bay you can, and it might be better to go around the car park.
Yeah.
Find any bay you can to do a reverse bay park. Any way you like. And finish off in between the lines, if you can see them.
Overall, Asmaron does well here, but he finishes off sticking out. His nose is too far into the road. He does perform good all-round effective observation and keeps the speed of the car down. Asmaron does take his time on this manoeuvre. There is a vehicle coming up behind and he correctly pays attention to that, but he should also be aware that he's blocking the road completely. You are not a learner driver when you're coming for a part 2. Make sure you drive professionally, but also safely.
Stop, give me a chance. What's happening around you? Okay, let's stop.
He does, however, finish off nicely in the bay. He just doesn't drive back far enough, and the nose is sticking out. He does have a large vehicle on his right-hand side, and I think he's using that as a reference point. But the nose of our vehicle is even further out than that.
Hopefully I'm in the lane.
Are you done?
I am done.
Okay, all right. Just give me 1 second. You just stay where you are. Just 1 second.
I hardly can see the line.
Switch the engine off just for a second. Just switch the engine off.
The parameters for the bay park are pretty simple. Yes, you must be within the lines, but the car must be parked in a position that you could leave it there.
Okay, whenever you are ready.
We now exit the car park, and then Asmaron has 2 mini roundabouts to deal with
Drive on.
before we do the pull up on the right exercise. The second roundabout, we're turning right, and he just swings slightly, unnaturally wide.
And then at the roundabout, turn right for me, please.
He checks both mirrors, signals in good time, and approaches, observing the roundabout, and then just swings out really far to the left. If there had been somebody behind us, or someone approaching on that first exit, that could have been quite confusing, but there wasn't, so today I'm just going to note it.
And then once you go past this junction, I'd like you to find somewhere to pull up on the right in a safe place for me, please.
Asmaron finds a suitable spot, and then we start the reverse. He also signals nice and early, bearing in mind there's a vehicle right behind us.
That'll do. Brilliant. Sorry, touch your hand there. I'd like you to reverse the car back about 2 car lengths, keeping reasonably close to and parallel to the curb. About 10 meters. I'll tell you when to stop. Okay?
Asmaron again demonstrates good, effective observation throughout this maneuver and stops for all oncoming vehicles. I would have preferred him to check pavement side before moving again, but in this case I'm going to put that as not noteworthy. He does check it shortly afterwards.
That'll do. Brilliant. Okay, so we're now going to start the independent drive. Okay, so we're going to be following the sat-nav for about approximately 20 minutes. Okay. If you're not sure where we're going at any time, you can ask.
Sure.
Okay?
Okay.
All right. You okay?
A bit nervous to start off.
It's
It's a different car as well.
It is?
Yeah. Right. So we drive one already, yeah?
Yes.
The police is coming behind us.
He then moves away safely from the right-hand side of the road. On this section, he just picks the speed up a little bit above the speed limit, but then drops it straight back down again. So in this case, I'm not going to mark it. And then a little further up the road, he's a bit hesitant at a roundabout, which leads to a bigger problem a bit further on.
After 300 yards, go left on the roundabout and take the first exit.
It starts with him braking a little bit harshly at a pedestrian crossing, affecting the vehicle behind. For this roundabout, he again checks mirrors and signals in good time and positions in the left-hand lane.
Go left on the roundabout and take the first exit.
He doesn't read the space and then brakes sharply, which slightly catches out the vehicle behind. He possibly misses this first opportunity to go, but it's a bit tight. But then he misses two clear-cut chances, irritating the driver behind. This is the first one, and the second comes straight after.
Oh, you gotta wait.
This can and does have an impact, a negative impact on other drivers. A little further up the road, he again affects the vehicle behind. There's a parked vehicle on the road and he's late to communicate and to position, and he blocks them off from overtaking. He does, however, keep a nice separation gap between him and the vehicle in front. The problem is further compounded by the fact that the vehicle behind again is getting close. He should be responding sooner to what he sees in his mirrors. The vehicle moves to overtake and he blocks it off. If he had signalled and positioned earlier, this wouldn't have happened.
After 200 yards, go straight on.
The driver clearly just wanted to pass us as he overtakes and then moves directly in front. We're stuck in traffic for a bit, so I'm just going to jump this forwards.
So I'm usually quite quiet
Yeah?
because I let you guys concentrate.
Yeah, no problem.
Do you prefer if I talk to you a little bit?
A little bit quiet.
You prefer it quiet?
Yeah.
Okay.
You know, in my test area, I drive around all the time, so I get used to it. I know the location and the area, you know. But this I'm just different areas. So.
Totally understandable.
And if you could just pull up on the left, just go beyond the taxi,
Okay.
and then pull up on the left.
He's now got the cursory hill start. When he moves in, he just cuts in across this taxi quite close. That could go down as clearance, but today, again, I'm just going to note it.
Brilliant. Drive on when you're ready. That's just the mild hybrid system. You're not stalling. It's just a mild hybrid
Is it?
system. If you don't like it, you can switch it off here.
Is it this one?
Yes.
So it does. Okay, it didn't start. No problem.
Yeah, it's not a stall. It's
Okay.
just the system. Yeah.
We move from a 30 into a 20 and then back into a 30, but Asmaron doesn't notice, doesn't know what the speed limit is. Shows how important it is to read signs. In this case, he gets away with it because of the traffic, but always pay attention to road signs.
It says 30, but it's 20.
Sorry?
It says 30 mile speed limit, but it's 20 in the map.
In this instance, he's saved by the traffic, but he would have just told an examiner that he doesn't know the speed limit. A little further up the road, we start the progress drive. Asmaron is about to start the dual carriageway section of this test, which then leads us on to the M1. In order to get onto the M1, he needs to move 2 lanes to the right, and he's a little bit late in positioning properly. He does, however, pick up speed nicely. Just around this bend, we're stopped at a set of traffic lights, and he does say that he knows we're going to the M1.
So we're going to go to M1.
All the more reason to start paying attention to road signs. But as we get closer and closer to where he needs to start moving to the right, he gets distracted by talking to me about something else. This half-mile marker sign should have prompted him to start thinking about moving across, especially with all this traffic.
I've got a car like this.
Have you?
I just bought one.
The blue one?
The Ioniq 6.
Ah, in the middle?
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
After 800 yards,
Red.
I feel now he needs a prompt.
Do you know where you're going?
I'll move lane, I think. So I've got to turn it right, is
Having
it?
to change lanes last minute is not a good idea. Always plan ahead.
After 400 yards, keep right, then take the motorway.
So I'm going west.
Keep right, then take the motorway.
Once we've joined the motorway, he's a little bit slow in picking up speed. He seems to be happy to be driving around 55 miles an hour. Depending on traffic conditions, the examiner would expect you to pick up speed, and he's a little bit slow in doing that. Once we've gone round this bend, we're joining from the slip road. The sat-nav has also indicated that we're going to be on the motorway for at least 7.5 miles. He signals in good time on this slip road. One thing he doesn't do very often is glance over his shoulder just to make sure it's clear. But what he does do is lean forwards to get a wider view. As I said before, with the traffic conditions, he would be expected to open it up when it's safe to do so, hit national speed limit. What he does well here though is he drops back, making sure that he's not too close to the vehicle in front and maintains a good normal driving position. But we're only doing 55 to 60 miles an hour, and he initially shows no intent to pick up speed. It doesn't last too long though, he does move to overtake. Albeit moving to the middle lane a little bit early. Once he's gone past though, he moves back to the left and then reduces speed back down to 60 miles an hour. But he is, at that time, searching for his cruise control. Unfortunately, it starts raining, and I now, grudgingly, am fully aware that the cameras are outside, so the picture quality may decrease slightly as we move forwards. I now ask him the cruise control show me question, and he doesn't quite know how to activate it. And in all fairness, it's not his car.
And just when it's safe to do so, could you activate your cruise control for me, please?
This becomes a bit of a distraction, and he loses slight control of his steering, bouncing from one side of his lane to the other.
Which way is up and down? I don't know.
Yes.
Put it on and off, yeah?
So you need to activate it.
Of all the questions to be asked out of your show me questions, it's probably the nastiest of all of them, especially if you're driving a car that's not your own.
Okay, thank you very much.
Yeah, I think I didn't know this one. So is it this button you push up and down, yeah.
It's a bit unfair to be asked this question in a car that you're not familiar with, but he did lose slight control of steering, and his speed has massively reduced. Throughout his remainder of the drive on the motorway, he barely scratches 70. He's much more comfortable, it seems, to be driving around 60 to 65. If you're on your part 2 and the road is open, get the car moving. It's not long before we're making our way off the M1, and we're heading back on the A41.
After 800 yards, cross the roundabout and take the second exit. Then you have reached your destination on your left.
Asperon again merges well with the dual carriageway. His signal is a little bit late, but I don't think this is going to affect anybody.
Okay, so when that finishes, I'll be directing you as normal, okay?
At this roundabout, he picks the left lane to follow the road ahead. It splits into 3, and he only realises at the last second that the left lane is left turn only. In his defence, the road markings don't display that it's left turn only until right up at the roundabout.
Cross the roundabout and take the second exit. Then you have reached your destination on your left.
He changes lanes a little bit late, but he did it safely. As he goes to exit though, he gets really close to the curb, uncomfortably close. At this speed, hitting that curb would
After
not have been
100
great.
yards, you have reached your destination on your left. You have reached your destination on your left.
Okay, so I'll be directing you as normal. You're just going to be following the road ahead for now, okay?
Okay.
At the next roundabout, he again is a little bit hesitant.
And in the roundabout again, you're just going to follow the road ahead, okay? Straight ahead.
He again just misses one opportunity to go. This is a gap that he should be taking, so this is another driver fault for undue hesitation. He correctly moves into the middle lane and then checks mirrors and signals well for exit. And then again, a little further up the road, he does something similar at another roundabout.
And then at the next roundabout, turn right for me, please. Right second exit.
Again, he checks mirrors, signals, and positions well in the right-hand lane. A rewind tutorial is incoming just after this bit. This time, the gap is a little smaller, although he could have gone. In this case, I'm going to put it as not noteworthy. He then moves into the right-hand lane, which is an easy mistake to make here, but if he had read the road markings, he should have been in the left. This would have led him out, but he doesn't interfere with anybody, checks mirrors, signals, and exits the roundabout. This does demonstrate why it's essential to read road signs. If you'd read this road sign here and then correlated it later on with the road markings, he would have known which lane to pick. I've said it before, but always read road signs. We soon make our way off the dual carriageway, and we're not far from the end of this test. There's just a few things that we need to take care of first.
Okay, so you're coming up to 2 mini roundabouts. Okay. On the first one, turn left. On the second one, turn right. They come in quick succession.
This double mini roundabout can quite often catch out learner drivers, but it shouldn't be a problem for an experienced. However, he slightly overextends his steering as he turns left here, and then as he exits, he tries to avoid a pothole, steering straight towards an oncoming learner driver. The slight understeer happens here. Today, I'm not going to fault it, but it's definitely noted. And then the pothole is here. He should choose simply just to reduce speed, but instead he moves to the right, squeezing this learner driver.
And then we're going to take that next road on the right where that white van just came out.
He's now got the emergency stop exercise.
And then if you could just find somewhere to pull up on the left in a safe place.
Asmaron does pull up in a good spot, but he's just not quite sure if it is. It can be very easy to second guess yourself.
Okay. We're now
I
going
can't
to...
see that sign. That lot is.
You're fine here, buddy.
Yeah.
You're fine. We're now going to perform the emergency stop exercise with the controlled stop. I'd like to bring the car to an immediate and abrupt halt on full control. My signal will be stop.
Okay.
I'll be making sure it's nice and safe behind us. Okay? Drive on when you're ready.
His emergency stop is just simply not prompt enough, and when he goes to move away, there are no observations. There's a slight delay of about 1 second to 1.5 seconds before he hits the brake,
And then if you just take this next road on the left here for me, please.
and when he goes to brake, it's just not strong enough.
And stop. Brilliant. I won't ask you that again. Drive on when you're ready.
Actually, I never practiced that.
Never practiced that.
Never
yeah?
done that.
Okay, end of the road here, turn right. And then when it's safe to do so, if you could just put your rear demister on for me, please. Brilliant, thank you very much.
And we're one junction away, and that's the end of the test.
Can you switch the engine off for me, please? Okay.
It's just been a test or like, you know, or a mock test. It just, I guess, you know, you get a bit nervous. The car is like a different car to what I drive.
How do you think that went? Or how?
I believe I failed. It was a good experience. Definitely a good experience. From what I've been learning, it seems easy from outside. Once you go, that's why I came, you know? Once you go and do the test, like a mock test it's not easy.
No, it's not, and you need that experience.
Yeah.
I'm going to say this again. So many of you are coming to me without having done any training, and this is a great opportunity for you to get an experience of what it's like. And obviously you can do that, but you need to do some training.
Yeah.
You do need to do some training. And there's a wealth of information on the internet, and I can see that you have done a lot of watching videos.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, I can see that. It's good. But you need that guidance. You need that understanding of like what's appropriate, what's not. But because you have watched the videos, your starting point is not down here.
Yeah.
There's a lot of good things in your driving. You have overall good control of the car, and you are bringing in elements of what you've seen online.
Yeah.
You just need to polish it up a little bit. So, pass or fail?
I believe it's a fail. I hit that curve.
You did hit the curb. You think that's a fail?
I think it's serious.
Yeah, no, I didn't serious fault that.
Is it not?
No, it
Because I
wasn't.
couldn't see what the curve was.
We're going to talk about your steering because you got a slight issue with steering. Yes, you made me wince. We were coming up to a roundabout. We're turning left. Curb's there, and you turn in really early.
Yeah.
Yes. Do you curb your car sometimes?
Yeah.
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 Okay. You're turning too early on the steering.
Too early.
Yeah, too early on the steering. And you're not assessing the curb properly.
Yeah.
You didn't hit the second one, so I didn't fault it. Yes, but I winced because I thought you must be like millimeters away. And at that speed, it wouldn't be good because we're traveling a little bit of speed. Entering the car park, that one there, hitting a curb can be a serious fault.
Yeah.
Okay, it can be, depending on the circumstances. Like if there's somebody, if you go mounting the pavement and you come back down, that's bad. Yeah, you turned a bit early, clipped the curb. Probably the most safest curb to hit because there's nothing there, and you know you're just coming around the bend. Okay, I'm going to tell you that you didn't pass that.
Yeah.
Okay, you didn't pass that. And some of it, I'm umming and ahhing as well. Like, shall I go? So, okay, I'm going to run through this with you. Okay.
Okay.
The nailed-on seriouses, like that you can't argue with. That emergency stop. And stop. Brilliant, I won't ask you that again. Drive on when you're ready.
Actually, I never practiced that.
It's not prompt enough. You probably braked at maybe
A few seconds, is it?
40 to 50% of the car.
Yes. Because you just hit it.
You need to brake at 100% of the car.
Yeah.
You also then moved off without any observation around the car.
Oh, after, yeah.
Okay, so this is like two serious faults straight away.
Straight away.
Boom. The reverse bay park. You are unlucky. You are really unlucky. Yeah, you're unlucky because you had this big vehicle on your right-hand side. Okay.
Yeah.
Now I got out twice to assess it. You were not in the bay. Your car was way overhanging the bay.
Right in the front of the car.
Yeah. Okay. Now to the point that the front of the car was even further out than his. Now, he has a big car.
Yeah.
Because that car is there, I was umming like, technically if he's the same distance, you can say he's shielded by that car.
Because it was beeping, I
But
see
what are you gonna...
the tree, for the trees, the thing were hanging, so I thought that was just too close
You had
enough.
a bit more space. You could have gone back in. And my phone wasn't... I switched off, which is really stupid.
Yeah.
So I was going to take some video of it so you could see it. But your car's overhanging. It should be in the bay. Right at the beginning, there's a 20 zone here.
Yeah.
We exit
When we started.
and we turn right. Yeah, it's a 20 zone. It catches people out, this 20 zone.
Okay.
You started speeding up before the 30 zone, yes? And you hit 25, 26 miles an hour before you went through it. Mirrors for change of direction. This was near the beginning of the test. We just started sat-nav when we were going past Hendon Driving Test Centre. And so we'd come down to a roundabout, we'd turn left and we're going up that road. And there was a vehicle that you wanted to go round. And you had that woman who beeped us at the roundabout. We're going to talk about that for a second,
That
okay?
one we were going 20. I thought it was 20, I think.
No, none of that was 20. That's all 30 down there. Okay. She beeped you at the roundabout because you were a bit hesitant at the roundabout. You also got a driver fault for undue hesitation because we could have gone... Yes,
Because they were quickly coming vehicles. I thought that was...
Yeah, but there was a couple of opportunities. We're going to talk about that one in a second. I want to just get this one out of the way.
Okay.
And you've come up to the parked car, and then you've just gone round, and she's starting to overtake you. No signal. Maybe you checked the mirrors, but you just went. You went, no, you're not coming past me.
Yeah.
You took the space, and you came back. Were you aware of her?
Yeah.
It makes no difference that you knew she was there. It's how you've responded to what she's... Yes?
Right.
The motorway, M1. We hit the motorway, and you initially were very hesitant to pick up speed. It was a motorway, and there was traffic, but how many lanes have we got?
Yeah.
So you were cruising at like 55, 56 miles an hour for quite a while. I driver faulted you for progress for this. And I could also see that you were quite aware of your following distances.
Yeah.
You were aware of your following distances?
I was aware, yeah.
Although bear in mind, it's wet.
It's wet. I just remember later on. I was only thinking the normal.
Okay.
No, wet.
You were within the 4 seconds.
Yeah.
You were within the 4 seconds, but when you were within that period, it wasn't that wet. And I think it's a bit harsh, right? You've got wet, like it's sopping wet, like it's puddles on the road. This is how many seconds should we be?
Double.
Should be 4.
4
right?
seconds.
But when it's a little bit wet, it's like that. It wasn't raining enough at that point, and it wasn't that wet. But progress. Then you finally did, and you went past, and then we end up tucking back in again, and we're again doing 56 miles an hour on a motorway where you could have gone past. And the sat nav. How many miles was it saying to the exit?
What, 3 miles or something?
That was maybe when you checked it initially, but right at the beginning when we entered the M1, it was 7.5 miles.
It was, about 7 miles.
So what does that tell you?
Still a lot of miles to go, so I could have been in the right lane, overtaken.
If you weren't with me and you were driving, would you drive? Would you sit?
I wouldn't sit. Normal on my taxi, I would just go flying.
Right.
I'll pass them all.
So you need to do that in this car?
Yeah.
Legally?
Legally, yes.
I'm not saying you do it illegally when you're on the motorway, but it needs to be legal. Yes?
Yeah.
Okay? And they want to see that. They want to see a progress drive. The driver faults. Undue hesitation at roundabouts.
Yeah.
You are a bit hesitant when it comes to roundabouts.
I was, yeah.
If you're coming up to a roundabout, at what point should we be assessing the roundabout?
At all times, yeah.
As we approach?
As we approach.
When we're there?
When we're there.
Which one?
As we approach.
As you approach.
To see if we will get in,
Yeah, to see if there's an opportunity to go. So, you've got to be careful of undue hesitation because it's going to catch you. You did not like me asking you this question.
No.
And just when it's safe to do so, could you activate your cruise control for me, please?
Because I wasn't sure what it was.
The car slowed to 55 miles an hour.
Yeah.
The steering
I need to find, I need to get used to this one, yeah.
What is when he asked the show me question, okay? If you get it wrong, what are you going to get in your part
Driver
two?
fault.
A driver fault.
Yeah.
But if you lose control of the car,
That's a serious, yeah.
we're now doing 55 miles an hour. The car's swerving a little bit all over the place. And I know it's a bit unfair, this question, because this car is not your car.
Yeah.
It's probably the hardest question. And I asked you at the beginning, do you have any questions about this car?
Yeah, but
And you did say, my speed limiter is here. So I was like, okay, don't have any more questions?
yeah. Because as soon as I put that, I should have just went like, up and down with this one.
That's it. It's all you had to do.
Yeah.
Yeah. There is a slight issue with steering on the left when you're turning left into the curb. We talked about that, and one
Yeah.
where you got really close. You then just as we're coming back, there's a pothole. Thank you. It's my car. I appreciate it. You're avoiding the pothole.
Yeah.
But there's a learner driver driving straight towards you. And you swerve to the right as that learner driver's coming past you, and then you come back again.
Okay.
How do you think that would impact any driver,
Not a learner.
but especially a learner driver?
Yeah, very much.
What should we have done differently there? I really appreciate that you understand that potholes can damage a car, but how should we have dealt with that, bearing in mind that there is...
waited. Yeah, I should have just waited a little bit
What do you mean waited?
until they passed me, so I can pass. The car.
You were there.
Yeah.
You were there. What could we have done with the speed instead?
Slow down, maybe. Just slow down, go over it.
You have to choose the best option
Yeah.
in that situation. This has been Asmaron's mock test. Please give him some love in the comments. If you've got any value from this video, obviously hit that like button, subscribe if you like more content, and then I will see you in the next one. And if he wants to come all the way down from Newcastle upon Tyne, can you imagine he's come from Newcastle upon Tyne overnight on the bus?
Overnight in the bus.
Maybe we'll see him again.
Yeah.
We'll see. We'll see.
Maybe,
All right.
maybe.
But in the meantime, get well out.